Hello, and welcome back to Sacrifice of Praise. Today we're going to be looking at the hymn Crown Him with Many Crowns. I want to apologize in advance. I'm doing a lot of reading instead of just speaking, and I will probably stumble over my words. I've started new Lyme treatment, and it's messing with brain fog and focus, and I'm doing this in the wee hours because I couldn't sleep. So I'm going to apologize in advance for the roughness of this. I've already tried this 2 or 3 times and had equipment trouble, but we're still going to look at a hymn today and see what God has for us. So, one of our pastors recently said, worship is our right response to God, to who He is. And today's hymn for the valley is Crown Him with Many Crowns, and it is a call to worship the King of Heaven. So, let's look at it and see what God has for us. Verse 1 says, Crown him with many crowns, the Lamb upon his throne. Hark how the heavenly anthem drowns all music but its own. Awake, my soul, and sing of him who died for thee, and hail him as thy matchless King through all eternity. I love the next to the last stanza there. Awake, my soul, and sing. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get so busy with the everyday tasks of life or distracted by life's burdens or trials or whatever is going on. And it's like I'm asleep. I need to awake my soul and sing, to praise him for who he is. When we're in the middle of trials and difficult seasons in life, it's easy to get completely distracted by the trials and what's going on. I've been there. And even now, recently, I've had the Lyme flare again and started new treatments and the fatigue and the brain fog and all the different things that come along with it, the dizziness, and it's easy to let those things distract me. It's easy to get distracted by just trying to get through the daily chores, household chores, and forget to lift my eyes, awake my soul, and sing of him who died for thee. Um, this has been a really good reminder for me to not get bogged down in what's going on and take time to praise him, to sing to him. Verse 2 says, Crown him the Lord of love, behold his hands and side, rich wounds yet visible above, in beauty glorified. No angel in the sky can fully bear that sight, but downward bends his burning eye at mysteries so bright. It's not been so long since we celebrated the resurrection of Jesus. And, contemplating the price that he paid, the power that raised him from the grave, the love that caused him to endure the horrors of the cross, considering these things will lift our eyes from our light affliction, as Paul calls it, and worship him. And I understand that in the middle of our affliction, our trials, our valleys, it does not feel light. It is not light. We've all endured things that are not light. But that's looking at it in a perspective from this side. When we look back at it from heaven, from eternity's perspective, it is but a light affliction. I remember reading those words in my Bible when I was going through the miscarriages with all of the health things on top of it and thinking, I believe the Bible, but I have a hard time considering this a light affliction. And yet, looking back at it, not even yet from eternity, but from the other side, seeing what God has done through the trials that I've gone through, I would say, yes, it's a light affliction. And so, looking at the cross, considering what he endured for me, yeah, what I've endured is a light affliction. He went through so much, knowing what was coming. He went through it anyway, and he did it for me? How can I consider anything too heavy? It's a light affliction, and He's helping me carry it. Sometimes we don't have that assurance of Him helping us carry these burdens because we're not casting our burdens on Him. Sometimes we're shouldering them on our own. We're trying to figure it out ourselves. We're trying to get through it on our own, and it becomes very heavy. But when we cast our burdens on Him, casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you, the burdens get lighter because He's carrying them with us or for us. And so, in the middle of trials, whether it's the deep trial of grief and the loss that feels unbearable, or the daily trial of relationship issues or work problems or health problems or financial, whatever it is that we're facing, when we focus on Christ and the love that took Him to the cross to endure all that for us and the power that raised Him from the dead, it can really encourage us, because that love and power is still real today. And whatever we're facing, he can sustain us, and He can get us through it. Verses 3 and 4, kind of, I'm going to blend those together. Crown Him the Lord of peace, whose power a scepter sways. From pole to pole that wars may cease, and all be prayer and praise. His reign shall know no end, and round His pierced feet fair flowers of glory now extend their fragrance ever sweet. Crown Him the Lord of years, the potentate of time, creator of the rolling spheres, ineffably sublime. All hail, Redeemer, hail, for Thou hast died for me. Thy praise shall never, never fail throughout eternity. These last two verses intertwine Jesus' sovereignty, His sweetness, His eternal reign, His salvation, and they recognize that He will receive praise for all eternity. And it makes me want to spend more time praising God now. Beyond praise, this hymn reminds me that a king is to be in control. I, his subject, am to submit my will to him. Do you know what I found? Every single time I submit my will to his, he does exceeding abundantly above everything I could imagine. Now, I don't always get what I want just because I submit to him. And the path may be hard, but I get his very best. And part of that is I get his grace and peace in the middle of the difficult when I'm submitted to him. Every time I submit my will to him, I see him do amazing things, and it encourages me to submit, to trust, and to worship him more. Again, it doesn't mean that I get what I want. Submitting my will to him when it came to whether he was going to give us children or not did not mean that I got children as I expected. And yet, God has given me so many young people to invest my life in and to love them. One of the things that was so hard when I considered not ever having children was that I wouldn't have children, I wouldn't have grandchildren. All of these things that you look forward to wouldn't be coming my way. And yet, do you know, every week I get time with the little ones around here and get a chance to give their moms a little bit of time to get a chore done or run an errand, and I get to love on their little ones. Is it the same thing I was dreaming of? No, it's not. But oh my, it is so sweet. And what God gives you, what God does in your life, may not be what you wanted. But if you will surrender it to Him and worship Him, it will be sweet. Whatever it is, it will be sweet. It may take some time of healing, and it may take retraining ourselves to consider what He's doing and to count it as good even when we don't understand it. but what he does is good, and we can trust him with it. What are you struggling with today? Whatever it is, I want to encourage you to lay it at his feet and trust him to work it together for your good and his glory. I want to encourage you to go to the description and click the links below. One of them is to the sheet music if you want to read the words again. And one of the links below is to a piano version of it. I believe this one has the lyrics on the screen also. Listen to this. Read the words. Use them as a prayer. Focus on praising God for his love, for Calvary, for the power of the resurrection, and for what he is doing in your life, even if you don't understand what it is, even if you don't really like what's happening right now. Trust that he is going to work it together for good and praise him for it. This is the very definition of a sacrifice of praise. Choosing to praise him before you see how it will work. I want to encourage you to do that today. Offer him a sacrifice of praise and see what great things he does in the coming days.